Hello guys, so I have TIG welded up all the way around the packet. I did a little bit of fill along this side just to make sure it was nice and solid. This is still really hot, so I'm trying not to burn myself. So I did some fill on the ends. The rest of this was just no fill TIG, except for a couple spots that ran back on me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this into the forge, bring up the forge to about 2,000, 2,100 degrees. I'm going to let it soak for a few minutes, and then I'll forge weld everything under the 4B. I'm going to start by doing the flats to weld the sheet that I did on the top here down solid. And then I'll go this direction here, and then I'll turn it 90 and go from top down. Drop it on the floor. That way I'm kind of compressing across all of those joints, and I'll do that probably 2-3 cycles. So I'll squish from the side, squish from the top, squish from the side, squish from the top, and let it get wider. And then I'll draw it out a little bit on the flats again, and then probably go one more cycle the other way. So I'll do like 3 or 4 welding cycles just to make sure everything's all soldered up. And then I'm probably going to forge it to roughly 3/4 by like 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch, and then I'll split it in half. When I go to split it in half, I'm going to surface grind the 2 flats, the 2 long flats, the flats on the side of the piece, to make sure I got all the way below my sheet and all of my TIG welds are out. And then once I have those slit in half, then I can forge my blade. Cool. See you later. So what I did here is I've welded everything up solid, and now I've taken it, surface ground the 2 sides off, and given it a light etch, which you saw in that last clip. From here, I'm going to trim it up so that I can start forging the blade shape, and then at that point, it's just like forging any other chef's knife for me. I'll kind of preform it, do distal taper, excuse me, and then start to pull it on the edge. I do need to be a little bit more careful of the order operations of what portion of the blade I push first to try to keep the trees vertical. So what I'll do is I'll actually stretch lengthwise and then horizontally, rather than normally I do kind of a radial pattern. And I found with these, if I do that, then it tends to kind of pull things weird, kind of a C shape. This time what I did is I just kind of ran it under the power hammer, forged my point in, and then I drew down the distal taper, mostly to the point there, pulled the heel out with a cross peen, or actually I used a fullering tool on the power hammer, pulled the heel out, pulled the middle out, pulled everything out flat, as wide as I could get it, and then I went through with the flat of the hammer and flattened everything out, put my bevels and all that. I didn't forge it especially close to shape, and it's maybe 3/16 at the spine and maybe a 1/16 at the edge, but I wanted to have a good amount to make sure I didn't leave any decarb on the surface at all, because if there's any decarb, then when I go to etch the blade, you'll see it, and I definitely didn't want that, especially in that 1075 where it would just look awful cloudy and nasty. All right, so there we go.